Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. And I wanted to do a quick lesson dealing with the Sabbath as pertains to the new moon. All right, because the new moon, pursuant to the Hebrew Israelites calendar, all right, would be the first day of the month. Now, we get our calendar here starting in the book of Exodus, the 12th chapter, okay, when the Lord was getting ready to deliver us out of Egypt. Okay, as you can see here, Exodus 12:2, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months, and it shall be the first month of the year. Okay, and that will be marked by the first day, as we're going to show you, is the new moon. Now, when you look up this word month, okay, you see the word chadash, okay, new moon, month, monthly, first day of the month, the lunar month. All right, let's get the book of Sirach real quick. Sirach. All right, and we'll start at 43 and 6. There is also the moon, marking the passage of time, an eternal sign of the changing seasons. The moon determines the holy days. Its light grows full, then grows dim. You know, the waxing and waning moon. Okay, but it's all marked by the new moon, okay, which you had new moon watchers, and ultimately the new moon, the first sighting of the new moon, you know, trumpets would be blown, and that would mark, you know, the first day of the month, okay, and by default, that would be the first day of the week. For some reason, you have Israelites who try to separate the first day of the month or the Hebrew Israelite calendar as pertaining to the new moon. They want to separate it from the weekly Sabbath, and there's no way to do that. In the new moon, pursuant to, you know, the calendar of the day, you know, they have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which, as we'll show you, those days have nothing to do with our culture and everything to do with paganism. You know, when Moses is here in Exodus, or as we're reading Exodus, you know, there was no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. There was day 1, day 2, day 3. And how did we determine day 1? By the new moon. All right. Which is not the full moon. The full moon is in the middle of a month. Now, it says here, Sirach 43:7, the moon determines the holy days. Its light grows full and then grows dim. The month is called after the moon. Marvelous to watch as it grows fuller each night, a signal light for the heavenly armies. The month is named after the moon. So moon and month are synonymous, okay? And when you deal with, all right, our months, they are marked by the new moon. That is the beginning of a month. And in months, you have weeks. Okay, and how are those weeks determined? Okay, so you have the new moon, giving you an example here. All right, as a matter of fact, how is it to be, all right, followed? Let's get Exodus 20. All right, in 8, it says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day, which the 7th day is at even, which is technically the 8th day, all right, which is why you see a lot of times in the scriptures, to give you an example real quick, okay, the Passover, Exodus 12:2, this month, all right, which was on the new moon, shall be unto you the beginning of months, and it shall be the first month of the year to you. And this is not complicated. although it took me some time when I first came in to get it. Now that I get it, it's really not that complicated. It's just that Jake doesn't want to detach from the paganism that they learned here in the modern day Roman Empire, America. And they really believe, Moses and Aaron were literally looking at a calendar from 7-Eleven. No, the moon is how they determine their months. Okay. And as you go down, just to give you an example, when you jump to verse 18, it says, in the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, which that would be the 15th day. So as you always see the 14th day, the 21st day, okay, the 8th day. We didn't have a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, okay? And again, we started our months by the new moon, okay? As a matter of fact, let's get this real quick. New moon to Sabbath, okay? Isaiah 66:23, and it shall come to pass from one new moon to another and one Sabbath to another, because the Sabbath, okay, is determined by the new moon, okay? And as we read here in Exodus, okay, Exodus 20:8, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath unto the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt do no work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy maidservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger in thy gates. Okay. So basically, to give you an example of how this works, I have this example calendar now. Right now we're in the Sabbath because the new moon came on a Tuesday sundown. Okay, so the weekly Sabbath, okay, for this month will be Tuesday sundown. So to give you an example with this calendar here, this is just an example. Okay, if you can see here, new moon. Okay, the new moon came on Tuesday at sundown. Okay, so Tuesday at sundown, all right, to Wednesday at sundown marks one day. Okay, that's the Sabbath. Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown, that's the Sabbath. All right, now let's count our 6 working days. Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown, 1. Thursday sundown to Friday sundown, 2. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, 3. Saturday sundown to Sunday sundown, 4. Sunday sundown to Monday sundown, 5. Monday sundown, okay, to Tuesday sundown, 6. All right, which that is going to enter you into what? Tuesday sundown. All right, the beginning of the Sabbath again. Okay, Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown is the Sabbath. Okay, let's do it again. You have the new moon, which is our days begin at evening. Okay, the example of that is the Day of Atonement. I believe it's in the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. We'll look it up. As a matter of fact, to give you an example of a day starting at evening, Leviticus 23, and just to get the point, speaking of the Day of Atonement, it says, it shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at evening. All right, from evening to evening, ye shall celebrate your Sabbath. So a Sabbath, okay, or a day period in the Hebrew Israelite calendar starts at evening. It starts at sundown. Okay, so let's go back to the example we have here, because we just read, going to Exodus 20:8. All right, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, and the 7th day is a Sabbath unto you. In it thou shalt do no work. Okay, so getting this example again, okay, You have the new moon, because the new moon can land, according to Esau's calendar, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The new moon can land on any of these days. The new moon isn't going to be bound to a perfect Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, or a Sunday sundown to Monday, or even a Tuesday. It's not bound to any of these particular days. It's in the spirit. Okay? It's not bound to a calendar day according to Esau's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, starting at Sunday, which would be the beginning of the week, right? Okay. No, our new moon, as again, this month, it fell on a Tuesday. So the Tuesday sundown will be the beginning of the month, or the new moon. Tuesday sundown to Wednesday sundown will be your Sabbath. Okay, that's day one. So let's count our 6 working days. All right, Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown is day one of your working days. Thursday sundown to Friday sundown will be day 2. Friday sundown to Saturday sundown will be day 3. Saturday sundown to Sunday sundown will be your working day 4. Sunday sundown to Monday sundown will be your working day 5. Monday sundown, all right, to Tuesday sundown will be your working day 6. So that will be your 6 working days, bringing you back into the Sabbath at Tuesday sundown, all right, to Wednesday sundown. All right, that's basically how it operates. Okay, we had day 1, day 2. I mean, as the example we always bring out in the book of 1 Samuel 20 and 5. And David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon. Okay, and again, let's look at this word new moon up. Tomorrow is the new moon, and the new moon is Chadash. Okay, Chadash, the moon, new moon, month, monthly, first day of the month, the lunar month. That was the first day of the month. Okay, and so tomorrow is the new moon. All right, and I should not fail to sit and eat with the king. Now you jump to verse 27, right? And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month. So they went through the, so tomorrow, the second day of the month. So we had day 1, day 2. We didn't have, all right, as I looked here, all right, when were the names of the week names Sunday through Saturday? Okay. The 7-day week with names Sunday through Saturday has its roots in a blend of ancient Babylonian, Roman, and Germanic traditions. All right. It came to its current English form over many centuries. All right. So really, a lot of this stuff goes back to Babylon. Okay. Influenced by astrology, the Babylonians assigned each day of one of the 7 classical panels: the sun, the moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus. All right. Now, the Romans originally used an 8-day calendar, the Julian calendar, which that was the calendar that the Romans were using when Yahushua was on the scene. All right. But you can see the names of their months were named after gods, different gods. Dies Solis, all right, the day of the sun. Dies Lunae, the day of the moon, and so forth. Okay. As a matter of fact, you can see here Sunday. All right, this has its roots in the Germanic influence. All right, Sunday will be Sun's Day, Monday will be Moon Day, Tuesday will be Mars, Wednesday will be Wednesday, Thursday Thor's Day, Friday Frigg's Day, Saturday Saturn's Day, and you can look these things up. Okay, the days of the week, the names of the months we have are all rooted in Roman, mythology, and we were commanded not to do that. Okay, let's get Deuteronomy 4 and 19. Okay, it says, just to get to the point, unless thou lift up thine eyes into heaven, when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all of the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy God have divided unto all the nations under the heaven. So you're not supposed to serve these particular gods. And when you are talking about, Friday, Saturday, and presenting it to Israel, you're basically linking them to mythology. Now, we use those names, to give people an understanding, okay, well, the new moon is going to be on a Tuesday or this and that. But when you ultimately try to say that this is how our fathers worshiped, they were calling on, that they established Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's not true. Okay, they didn't have no goddamn 7-11 calendar. They were using the moon to dictate their months. Okay, point blank period. And the new moon is a dark moon. Okay, and as the new moon watchers watch, which was a profession, why would you have to watch for the new moon if it's the full moon? Again, the full moon comes on the 14th day of a Hebrew Israelite month. That's why the Passover is always on a full moon. Okay, that's not day one of a Hebrew Israelite month. Okay, day one is the new moon, not the full moon. Okay, but that's a whole nother lesson. All right, I said, did Moses and Israelite use these days? No, Moses and the Israelites did not use the name Sunday through Saturday. Okay. Then he's giving you examples of how our days were called. Okay, in the Bible, especially the Torah, the days of the week are simply referred to by numbers, counting from, all right, the Sabbath, which ultimately will be the new moon. You count from the new moon. If the new moon is the beginning of a month, how else would you determine the weekly Sabbath? Did they go and tap into another calendar? No, they were counting from the new moon. All right, the new moon at evening, all right, or whenever the new moon comes in. Okay, because the new moon can come in sometimes earlier in the day, but we just mark it at sundown, right? So from new moon to the next day, that's day one. And then you count your 6 working days, and then eventually you end back up, all right, at the Sabbath. Okay? They didn't name the days after celestial bodies or gods. This was pagan custom from Babylon and Roman. All right, Exodus 16:5, when God gives the Israelites manna, he says, on the 6th day spare, they shall prepare what they bring in. There is no name like Friday. See, 6th day, 5th day, 4th day, first, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. The 7th day is the Sabbath unto your Lord. All right, and the 7th day, ultimately at evening, all right, is technically the 8th day. All right, that's why you always see the 8th day when you go into the scriptures, the 15th day. Sometimes it'll say the 14th day, but the 14th day at evening is the 15th day. Okay? So where did Sunday, Saturday come from? Those names came long after Exodus and from pagan cultures. All right? The Jews or the Israelites preserved their number system and it is still used today. And all we have to do is use the new moon. All right, they could try to destroy our culture, separate us from the Lord, change signs and times, but we still have the moon, so it's really nothing they can do. Okay, and they know that these things connect us to our power. Okay, doing it to the best of our ability, he's pleased with that. We're just rehearsing the righteous acts. Now, are you going to be destroyed if you sincerely following it from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown? No, but the truth is here. All right. And all it takes is a little studying and going into your history, and you'll see that our forefathers never used Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right. Moses and the Israelite used a numbered week with the Sabbath as the only named days. Sunday through Monday are planetary days that came later from heathen cultures. Did the Israelite use a lunar calendar? Yes, the ancient Israelite used a lunar calendar, man. The Hebrew word for month, chadash, which literally means new moon, each month began with the sighting of the new moon, the first visible crescent. Okay? And it goes into the various things that we've been breaking down. Okay? Point blank period, man. The Passover is on the 14th day of the first month. That's going to be a full moon. The Feast of Trumpets, the first day of the month of Tishri, all right, the Day of Atonement on the 10th day of a month. The Feast of Tabernacles is on the 15th day. So we didn't use, yes, the Israelites use a lunar calendar more precisely. Right, a lunar calendar, and months begin with new moons. All right, so it's real simple, but men like to complicate things. You know what I'm saying? It's really simple. It's not, this big deal. Okay, again, Exodus, the 12th chapter. Okay, this month shall be the beginning of months. This is the beginning of our year. It shall be the first month unto you. All right. And then you start counting the days. Okay. And ultimately, this is how. All right. Yeah. The 14th, the first month, the 14th day. Okay. This is all in the Bible. You never see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, man. Okay. And the Passover is a Sabbath because it falls on the 14th day. Okay. And ultimately, that's at evening, which technically is the 15th day. Okay. So it's real simple, just to give you that example. All right. Of how this calendar works is very simple. The new moon, again, can fall on a Thursday. The new moon falls on a Thursday. All right. Thursday sundown to Friday sundown will be the Sabbath. Then you count your 6 working days and you're going to end right back up. All right. At Thursday sundown. All right. Being the first day of the week. All right. And the Sabbath for that particular month until you get into the next new moon. So hopefully I will edify. I just wanted to bring that out. All right. We have videos where we go deeper into it. Hopefully I'll edify. Shalom.